Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. What up, my dogs? I don't know why I said that. I just got in touch. Apparently, I identify with Randy Jackson. I don't know. I'm trying to really spruce up my podcast since I don't have an intro and outro. And I thought if I come up with clever ways to say hello, that would make up for having no intro or outro. But saying what up, my dogs is probably not, especially saying dogs that probably wasn't the best way. So, we'll revisit that. We'll keep circling around until we find. I should just put an intro and outro. You would think I would go, you know what the best solution to not having intro or outro music, that would be making intro and outro music again. But again, I tried. And I can only probably accomplish this from my laptop or switching platforms. And if I switch platforms, that's going to be a whole gigantic thing that I just don't, just the thought of it makes me exhausted. I'm not quite there yet. So I'm just going to keep on talking into my phone. Eventually, I'll have an intro and outro. Maybe, I don't know. I don't even want to say that because in all honesty, I'm sitting here thinking about that. And I'm the links I have to go to do that. And that's so shitty because it's well, it's your podcast. Don't you think it should not sound like shit? Don't you think it should be professional? Maybe more people would listen. But I'm whatever. Which is awful. I realize, what the hell is that? Okay, sorry. I thought I saw just Bigfoot or something chilling out. Just kidding. Not really, but something. My point is, I don't want to make promises I can't keep. I'm not that kind of gal. I don't make promises that I don't keep. So I will not promise that I will get an intro and outro. How long have I been saying that now? It's been a bit. It's been quite a while. So I'm sure you're all yeah. Anywho, hi. Hello. I can't tell you how many times I have tried to make another podcast. This is probably it hasn't been that many. I'm being really dramatic, but this is my fourth time trying to get this podcast up and going. This episode. And the first time I was all, yeah, and I was really into it. And then I did the thing again. I did that thing again, you guys, where I got a little too aggressive. I was aggressive. I was aggressive. Hey, anyway, I was being aggressive. And that was not good. Again, even for me, who really doesn't give a fork, Keisha, I got a little too, I was nah. So, it's bad when even I was I should probably pump the brakes on that one. I got a little too, I was pissed. I was hurt. I was sad. I was frustrated. And I am trying to take a breath, take a beat before I do podcasts when I'm all in a mood or when I'm doing anything. I'm trying to learn the whole think before I speak thing, which I'm not always great at. I do a lot of speaking before I think. And now that I'm, a grown-ass whole adult and well into halfway, actually halfway would be great because then I'd be 104 and that'd be amazing. But, so I stopped and I was veto. Although I have to tell you, there are two episodes, I did put it out. So some of you may have it, and now it's the lost episode. And I'm not apologizing for it because I'm not sorry. Here's the deal. I am not at all sorry for how I felt or what I said. I'm sorry for the way I said the things. I got a little too graphic, a little too crass. I cussed way too much. So I'm not sorry for how I felt. I'm not sorry for the things I said because I mean them. In fact, I'm going to discuss them today. It's going to be an episode today. So if you are not comfortable, you should get comfortable because I have a lot. I've got to get in my last podcast on this podcast. And then I have some other things I want to talk about. So I don't know how long this is going to be, but it might be a bit. So if you're if you're in LA and you have a long work commute or something, hot diggity. this is your podcast. You have hit the podcast lottery because this might be a bit, I'd say a good half an hour plus. So anyway, hello, welcome. Oh, and then I tried another podcast and I'm all into it and I'm all talking, boo, boo, boo. And I'm all, yeah, this is a good podcast. This is going to be great. People are going to dig it. I have said what I had to say and I did it in a grown, adult, mature way. I was respectful and I'm like, yeah. And then I looked down and I had realized that at one point, while I was rambling on in my podcast, I had to grab something to drink and calm my dog and stuff. And so I put it on pause. And I thought that I unpaused it. And apparently, again, maybe that kid, remember that kid on YouTube? Apparently I did not. And now I was just talking away and I'm like, boom, done. That's a wrap. That is a wrap. That's going to be number one hit podcast. No. Au contraire, mon frère. I had it on pause the whole time because I'm smart like that. Because America, I graduated from high school in America. Hang on. See, now what if I would have done it again? Again, this is why I shouldn't be doing a podcast on my phone because you don't have these problems. These are problems that you don't have when you're actually being professional, you know? But I was talking and I thought it was all great. And then I had the effing thing on pause the whole time. Then I went to do another podcast and I was like, maybe this is, the universe's way of being like, you know what, how about you shut your pie hole about this topic? We don't want to hear you, Courtney. We are trying to tell you to shut up and maybe not talk about this. And I'm like, don't tell me what to do. In true my fashion, I don't like to be told what to do. So I'm like, fuck you, universe. I'm doing it, which is not good because then you've got that like final destination stuff and you've got things following you around going, I told you. Anybody else super traumatized by that movie? I can't be behind a log truck I've never wanted to be behind a log truck anyway. No one does. I don't think anyone's like, yeah, I feel comfortable. This is a good spot I want to be in on the highway, with cars careening by is behind a log truck. Yeah, I don't think anyone's been like comfortable with that. But I am extra uncomfortable now. And who watches, why did they make a number 2, 3, and don't they have 47 final destinations now? I feel like they have a lot. I don't know who can watch. I couldn't even sit through the first one. It gave me the most anxiety. It gave me horrendous anxiety. And same with the movie Arachnophobia. That movie came out 1,000,000 years ago, and to this day, I can't do two things. One, if there's a lamp and it has a lampshade, if there's a lampshade and you have to turn on or off the light by, reaching up under the lampshade to do so, I'm like, I will check for spiders to this day. And that movie came out 30 years ago. And I will still check under. If you guys are scared of spiders, don't watch Arachnophobia. I watched it because I was like, this will cure me. I'll feel better. I will like spiders by the end of this. And I don't know why that was my rationality at the time, but I was young, So I think it came out more than 30 years ago, actually. I'm 99% sure it did. But anyway, this is where I wish I had someone like Joe Rogan and people with actual podcasts, with big boy, big girl podcasts, where you can go, hey, person, hey, Jamie, look that up. When did Arachnophobia come out? Hey, Rosie, Libby, can you look up when Arachnophobia came out? No? Okay. No, they're too busy looking at birds. But I also, whenever there's popcorn and there's a lot of it in a bowl, I swear to you, I don't always want to get into the popcorn bowl because I'm worried that the spider's going to come out. So it's a whole thing. But you would think that the universe is like, how about you don't do your podcast? And I'm like, no. Or you can say I'm tenacious. I'm not being, stubborn or prideful. I'm just tenacious. It means when one door closes, I'm like, if I'm going to kick open another door, I'm like the Kool-Aid man. I'm like, don't tell me no, I'm coming in. I got this. Which, makes me not everybody's cup of tea, of course. But anyway, so here I am trying this out again. And it's a different setting, which is beautiful. I'm looking out onto forest and mountains, and the fog is rolling in on top of the mountains, but it is the birds are going crazy, as you can probably hear. And I love that this is my office. I mean, how blessed am I right now? I can hear a rooster in the background. I can hear birds, I can hear a frog earlier. Love it, right? Yeah, Libby agrees. You guys are filthy. Anyway, so hello, welcome. I cannot tell you now that I don't even know if you guys are listening anymore. Are you guys even listening? I do this. I honestly can't tell you how much I mean this. I really, really genuinely mean this. To those of you that not only are still listening, but those of you who have listened to my podcast more than once, I applaud you. Honestly, I say this all the time. I know I say it all the time, but you deserve to hear this. You get like mental fortitude Navy SEAL points because to listen to my podcast and keep up with it with how much I am squirrel and digress and stuff and how fast I can talk and I'm all over the place. And I don't have a soothing voice, I don't have that James Earl Jones, voice. I mean, I'm also not a black man, I don't know what is it with me and black men today. Shout out to all the black men out there. Apparently I have you on my mind. What up? Anyway, so I appreciate you. I appreciate every person that listens to my podcast once or more than once. You are all amazing. You all deserve a big shout out. So shout out to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, I say this all the time, but it deserves to be said again. To those people I pick on relentlessly and those countries that I pick on, and the fact that people from those countries and from the categories of people, I pick on everybody, by the way. You're not safe. I pick on myself. I'm a freaking disaster. I have a lot of material to pick on myself. I don't think I'm anything close to perfect. I don't think America's perfect. I don't think Trump is perfect. I don't think Christians and Republicans are perfect. I think there's not a human in the entire world that's even close to perfect because we're humans. So I pick on everybody. And I don't think that Republicans are always right. And I always call myself a conservative hippie because I do believe in pro-choice. However, I don't believe in using it as a birth control. I believe in only using it if you are in danger of your life, if your life is in danger, or if you were raped or molested. And I only believe if it's the first 3 months. But it's just such a hot topic. I honestly can see every single side. It's one of those things I agree with Christians. I agree with liberals. I agree with so many people. I agree with scientists. There's so many aspects to abortion. It's hard to, I see everybody's side and I agree. Hey, leave it. Same with the death penalty. There's times that I'm like, yeah, fry them. But then there's other times I'm like, oh, there's a lot of innocent people. I kind of believe the death, I think that keeping people on death row is a massive waste of time and money. I think if you are going to say there's the death penalty and you truly believe that someone is guilty enough to kill them, then there is zero reason to be waiting. And I know it's so that people can do appeals and all of that, but it's like, look, if you believe in the death penalty, then I know it's for the person, but I don't know. I go back and forth. There's part of me that even says, if we know you're guilty, if you've admitted you're guilty, then you die in the way that you killed somebody. I don't know. So, thank you for listening to my podcast because it is a disaster. And yet, here you are. So you freaking rock. I appreciate you. And, let's get to it. Now that I've taken, 47 hours of babbling. It is called Ramblings of an Insomniac. So I do want to say that you did get into this knowing. It is in the title, All right, so what is it that I was trying to talk about for 3 effing episodes? Okay, and I'll just touch on it quickly, actually, and then we'll move on to other things. But part of what I wanted to talk about is I was dog sitting, and I was gone for 34 days, and I was in this neighborhood that, man, I have to say, I saw kids and families, parents with their kids, and siblings outside playing with their, sisters and brothers, and just people outside playing, rain or shine, playing with remote control cars, playing a wiffle ball game, playing basketball, they were playing touch tag for a while. It was so amazing. And it just got me thinking, wow, this just reminds me of Americana. Like, I don't see that very often. Even when it was raining, there were kids outside playing. And you could hear them laughing, and they had manners, and they were happy, and they were not obese, and they were not cussing, and they weren't screaming at each other. And they were smiling and very content being outside. And my son does this, and his girlfriend with their kids. They make sure that they're outside and that they're doing things, that they are actually outside getting fresh air and not sitting there glued to, their devices, their electronic devices, and they're not allowed on them very often. And I did that with my kids. We had one day a week that we didn't have our cell phones and we didn't have our devices, and we played board games after school. And there was a day that seemed to mesh pretty well with sports and all of that. And so on Wednesdays, we would go home and eat dinner together at the table, and we would play board games, and it was amazing. And my kids loved it. And I realized that people can't do that. Right now, we're living in a day and age where both parents a lot of times can't be home at the same time. Or maybe there aren't both parents. Or maybe there's both parents, but they're exhausted because they're both working, and I get that. But I feel like it's so important to take a moment. I mean, you had kids, right? You had kids because you wanted them. And I get it. Kids can be a pain in the ass. And even though we want them, sometimes they make us cranky. I get it. Again, sorry, I'm panting because I'm walking up a hill that has like major tall grass. And I'm like, whew, I'm winded. I'm always walking up hills, and you would think I would be, what the hell is that noise? You would think I'd be more in shape. I'm walking up hills all the dang time, but I don't eat enough protein. Anyway, I loved being in this neighborhood because I would walk to the Walgreens that was nearby, and there were people there, and I'm only bringing up race because it's relevant to what I'm going to talk about. I wouldn't bring up race normally, but I'm going to because it's relevant to what I'm about to talk about, or what I'm going to say. And that is, there were two ladies working there that I saw a couple of times when I would go into Walgreens, and they were black, and I am Caucasian. And she said she was so happy when I was checking out. She was so happy and so friendly. And she said, how's your day going? And I said, well, I can't complain. I'm alive, right? And she said, amen, amen. She said, blessed to be alive as well. And she was just happy and cheerful. And it was like, it's better than the alternative, right? And she said, not me, she said, amen, praise the Lord. And I was like, yeah, amen. And I'm like, that's so nice. She was friendly. She wasn't afraid to say amen. She wasn't afraid to say praise the Lord. She didn't care that I was white. I was walking out. I heard her talking to the person behind me, who, by the way, happened to be Asian. Same thing. So we had a white person, an Asian person, a black person. We were all getting along. Life was good. There's a trail that I walked to go back to the house. And I don't know, it's probably 2.5 miles, I would say. And I'm walking on it, and I came across people of all shapes, sizes, and colors and things. Everybody was like, hi, hello, good morning, or good evening, whatever the case was at the time. Went out of their way to like acknowledge each other and say hello. And I just thought, you get on the internet and you're on social media. And if you look at social media, you would think that everybody hates everybody. You would think that all black people can't stand white people, and all white people hate black people, and all Asians hate each other, and all races hate each other right now, and all people are against everybody right now. And there is a lot of that. There certainly is. But what I have found is that when you get off the internet and you get into the real world, you are seeing with your own eyes, when you look with your own eyes, when you're walking around in your own body, seeing other people, you see that, again, I always say this, like Luke Bryan says, I believe most people are good. I think that most people are good. Do I think there are an awful lot of crying, whining, entitled douchebags out there? Hell yeah. Do I think there are some evil, sadistic motherfuckers out there? Yeah, I do. But do I think the majority of people out there are at least, decent? Yeah, I do. I really do. And so it was nice because it restored something in me. I was, like I said, I've been taking a break from social media, and then frickin' my ex account, by the way, I no longer have Twitter because I'm not against Elon, but somehow they thought that I was a bot and unauthentic. And I'm like, unauthentic? I don't wear makeup. Half the time I'm on there not wearing makeup, looking like a hot mess. I don't use filters at all. I don't even have, I'm like, how am I'm probably the most authentic person on X. But they thought that I was a bot, so I tried to appeal it. And get this, they didn't give me a warning. They didn't say, hey, and they didn't even tell me what I did wrong. They just said they thought that I was spam and unauthentic. And I was like, I'm not spam. I'm a real person. You can look at my podcast. You can, I usually just repost other videos. Sometimes I'll put up my own videos. There's been many times I've put up my own videos. You can see that. I don't understand. So they didn't give me a warning, nothing. Just said, by the way, also, not only are you forbidden to ever come back, but you can't even open up an email and start another account. And I'm like, so I don't get a warning. So I'm not threatening. There are people on there threatening the president's life. And they're on TikTok. And not TikTok, they're on X. And I didn't threaten anybody. I've never threatened anybody. I've never bullied anybody. And I didn't get a warning. And because they thought I was a bot, and I even sent them an appeal. And I'm like, a bot's not going to send you an appeal. Like, what are you talking about? Unauthentic? I am probably the most authentic fucking podcast out there, and probably the account out there. I don't use filters. I go on with no makeup all the time. I say whatever. I don't know. So anyways, it's very frustrating. And shoot, where was I going with that? Oh, so I was trying to do this podcast, and this time I did one where I was like, all right, people will like this. And then all of a sudden, I get cut off from X. So now, and then I am shadow banned pretty much from YouTube. So now nobody has a way of even knowing my podcast is out there except for on Clapper and TikTok, which they censor me a lot. And then Instagram censors the bejeebs out of me. So it's good times. And I did a whole podcast about the fact that, kids. So that's where I was going with this. See, that's what I'm talking about. I go in circles, and then eventually I do get back, though, okay? It was nice to see kids doing that. And back in the day, on social, so that's where I was going with this. So social media likes to show that people are not getting along, and that, white people hate black people, and all races hate each other, and again, there are a lot of douche people out there. There are a lot of douchey people. There is a lot of racism going on. And I have some black fatigue. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry, but I do. I feel like there is a lot of racism going on against white people right now. And to the point that I had called a company one day, and they said, so what is your race? They were asking me a bunch of questions. And I said, Caucasian. And they go, so non-Hispanic? And I go, well, I'm non-Hispanic, I'm non-Asian, I'm non-Black, I'm non-Native American. I said, I'm Caucasian, I'm white. I don't know what you want me to say. And he goes, so non-Hispanic. And I'm like, why is there, and I see that a lot. I see that a lot on paper. It'll go white, in parentheses, non-Hispanic. And I'm like, so if you're white, that means non-Hispanic. I'm also not Chinese. I'm also not Native American. I don't understand why we can't be white now. That's been a long time that's been on there. Non-Hispanic. Okay. It's called Caucasian. That's a race. I'm not allowed to be my race. It's racist to be the race that I didn't even come up with. You asked me the question, why do you care? Why do you care what my race is? That makes you racist. Why do they even ask that question? I know they want it for like polls and to like gather stats and to gather information and stuff, but it's frustrating. So anyways, I've taken a huge, I've taken a lot of time off from social media because it just shows negative. And it shows that everybody hates everybody. And what I'm around supportive people. I'm around people who are kind. I'm around people who are tolerant. I'm around people that help. And I see people that smile at one another. And I see people that say hello, say good morning. And again, sure, there's some assholes out there. Sure, there's a lot of really crappy bullshit going on in the world. I agree. But if you just take a break for a little bit and you pull your head out of your phone, you'll see that there's a big, big wide world out there. And a lot of people are friendly and want to help. So it was just nice. It was so nice to see these neighborhoods where people were outside playing and getting along and smiling. And it was nice to be around people who were saying hello and saying bless you and feeling grateful, you know? And there's a lot right now going on where people, I'm sure, are feeling nothing. They're not feeling grateful. They're feeling angry and frustrated. And gosh, I get that. Man, I get that. I had a really, really rough April is not a good month for me. I've talked about this before, but every person I love and care about has died in April. And on my birthday. You know, I told you this, my real biological father and my dog, on two separate instances, by the way. It's not like my dog. By the way, my dog was not with my dad. It wasn't like they died together. My biological dad and my dog both died on my 9th birthday. I've had a grandmother that has died on a birthday. I've had another grandmother that died right after my birthday. My mom died 10 days before my birthday. It's just, April's just kind of a poop month. And a lot of things in life seem to go wrong in April, you know? So I try to just be like, and I'm just tired of always being brought down. I'm tired of always feeling guilty for things. I don't feel like a person should feel guilty when they're successful. And I'm getting really, really tired. I'm so tired of other people getting angry when people have things they want. Don't get angry about it. Go get it yourself. How about you put up or shut up? How about you stop making excuses? How about you stop yammering on and on and on because no one wants to hear it. No one's going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this. Shut up. No one fucking cares. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. How dare you have the audacity to want to tax the bejeebs out of rich people because you think they have too much and you think you deserve what they have just because. You didn't earn it. You didn't work for it. You didn't do anything at all to warrant deserve, to use the word deserve, but yet you think you deserve it. And you talk about deserving it and how they don't deserve it. Really? Rich people don't deserve the time and energy that they put into their hard work when they get up, not you. They get up no matter how exhausted they are. They get up no matter how stressed they are. They get up no matter what is going on in their life, and they work their asses off, and they have suffered, and they have sacrificed, and they have busted down doors and not taken no for an answer. Not you. They did. Do you think that every person that's rich just opened their eyes one day and they're like Scrooge McDuck and they have this cave full of fucking gold that they just roll around in? Like, what? Who are you? Are you fucking retarded? Yeah, I used the word retarded. Get the fuck over it. So I don't understand how you think that you, a stranger, is okay with already, by the way, the rich are the ones that pay for all of your asses. And if it weren't for the rich, you wouldn't have free every fucking thing. So you're welcome. I'm not rich, by the way. I'm not saying this as a rich person. But the rich people are the ones that are taxed. They pay for, it's 60, I get different answers. I get anywhere from, they pay for 60%, they pay for 90% of the it's 97% of the population is the last statistic I heard, that the rich pay for 97% basically. And then I've heard that the rich pay for, that 5% of the population pay for, pay for 97 or pay for 95% or something like that. And so you can look it up. I'm not giving you actual facts. I did a podcast about this where I had actual facts. So you'd have to listen to that. But my point is, the whole point is the rich pay far more in tax. And then they turn around and not only have to pay property tax and get taxed out of their paychecks, but then they turn around at the end of the year and the government goes, you know what, you still haven't paid enough. You still haven't paid enough. And then all of these liberals and all these other people are like, you know what, you still have things. And because you still have possessions, you shouldn't have possessions. You shouldn't have a car or a nice home or nice things. You should be miserable like the rest of us. And we're not going to be happy until you're miserable. And then when you're miserable, we'll still be miserable and we'll find somebody else to make him miserable because we're just always going to be miserable because we're just miserable people who are never happy. And I'm not going to do anything about it either. I'm just going to complain and say, give me. I'm a glutton. Feed me. Like there's so many obese people out there. It's pissing me the fuck off. And I'm sorry. This is the part that I said in my last podcast that I could have said a little better, but I'm not going to feel sorry for her. And I'm still going to say it because I still mean it. So if you are offended easily, or if you're triggered easily, or if you're one of these people that thinks that you are overweight because, eating Oreos and sitting around and doing nothing somehow is everybody else's fault, then you need to stop listening to my podcast. But if you're an obese person who actually admits that it's their fault and doesn't make excuses, I love you. Thank God for you. And if you're somebody let's just say this. I'm getting real tired of people with 79,000 kids getting money back at the end of the year because they have kids. So you don't even pay hardly anything in taxes. You get free food. You get free health care. You get help with your rent. And you get taxes back? How in the fuck do you get taxes back? And then there's people who aren't even working, who do not have a job. But because they have a bunch of kids, they get earned income credit. So they're not working. They get free health care, free daycare, rental assistance, free health care, and they get a shit ton of money back. Now, let me tell you, if you're a single mom or if you're a stay-at-home mom and one of your partners is working, I think you have a job. You're a stay-at-home mom. That's a job. And I am all for people getting help with having welfare to get a leg up, to get help until you can be independent, until you can get a job. I don't think you should live on welfare. That is not what it's for. So I'm not against people on welfare, and I'm not against people that are stay-at-home parents, stay-at-home moms, dads, whatever. But I'm saying if you're staying at home because you're a lazy fat fuck and you're just mooching off the system, and then you're still saying that the rich need to pay more and that the rich aren't doing enough, what are you doing? Please tell me how you are contributing in any way to society, and please tell me the way that you are now raising your children. You're raising your children to live like you and to be like you. They're going to lead by example. And the example that they're getting is to mooch, to have no pride in yourself whatsoever, and then to make other people believe everything you believe or you're going to bully them. Believe everything you believe or you're going to censor them. Believe everything you believe or you're going to unalive them. Because that's society today. And then society is like, I still don't have enough. I want everyone to say and do the things that I say. I want everyone to believe in the things I believe in and to respect me. Me, more, glutton, me a fatty. Me a fat gluttonous person with 79 kids. And I'm fat. And yet I'm a victim. I'm a victim. No, you're not. You're a fucking waste of space. Get a job. And then maybe you'll have some pride. And then maybe you won't be depressed. And then maybe I don't know if you are overweight. Stop telling your doctor that they're not allowed to call you overweight, because that's their entire fucking job. Their job is not to, make sure that your feelings aren't hurt. Their job is to keep you alive, okay? Their job is to tell you what's wrong with your health so that you can fix it and live longer. And if something that is wrong with your health is that you are 300 pounds overweight, that's called obese. It's called obese. Sorry if you don't like the name. If you don't like the name, then don't be obese. If you don't like the name, then call it fat. Whatever name you like, that is what it's called, and it is unhealthy, and your doctor is allowed to say it and should be allowed to say it. And the fact that it hurts your feelings is completely beside the point and irrelevant. Who cares? Who the fuck cares? He's not your therapist, or she. He or she is not your therapist. Your doctor is not there to make you feel warm and fuzzy and comfortable. Sure, they need to be professional. I'm not saying they need to go, oh, you fat fuck. Oi. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they need to be a dick about it. I'm not saying they need to be rude. And I'm not saying you're less than. I'm not saying if you're obese, you're not a good person, you're not beautiful, because I know people are going to turn into that. Did you hear that? She called me obese. Well, are you like 300 pounds overweight? Then you're obese. I'm sorry. Just like if you have killed somebody, you're a killer. Just like if you have a low IQ, then you're either special needs or you have a low IQ. You aren't intelligent. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things I am. I'm not perfect. Lord knows I've gained weight. Lord knows my teeth are all screwed up. I have many things wrong with me. And when a dentist, that's a good example. My teeth are very messed up, always have been. I've taken care of them, but I have bad teeth. And so my dentist tells me that. You have bad teeth. He doesn't say it like a shit, but he lets me know the things I need to do to fix my teeth. And I don't get my feelings hurt by them because he's trying to help me. He's trying to fix my teeth. He's trying to make my smile look better. He's trying to help. I was just on a phone call. So anyways, if my dentist is telling me these things, I'm going to listen to him, and I don't think it's rude. So if your doctor is like, hey, you're like 300 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, they're allowed to say that because you can have a lot of health issues with being overweight. Just like you have a lot of health issues if you are, a drug addict, if you're an alcoholic, if you drink too much soda. So they're telling you that because they're your doctor. And now people are like, you can't call me obese. Oh, my pearls. Oh, the audacity. Really? The audacity? The audacity of you to be obese and then to act like people can't see you. You are aware people have eyeballs, right? And regardless if you call yourself obese or not, you're still obese. You, just like whether I like to say my teeth are bad or not, I can say my teeth are straight and wonderful and pearly white all day long. I can say that. It doesn't make it true. So we've just gotten to this weird stage where everybody's got a bitch about everything and everybody has to clutch their pearls over everything. And I'm like, can you just be happy? Why do you have to make everybody else say that you deserve things? And because you're not happy, you want to drag the rest of the planet down with you. Get a grip. You're fine. I can't tell you how often I'm not happy. And I have to just fucking deal with it or make a change or fix the problem. And if there's not a solution, well, then I guess I just have to be unhappy. I don't go around trying to make everybody else pissed off. Sure, I've done that before, and it's wrong when I have. So it's so great to not be on social media sometimes and take a break so that you can see that real people are actually okay. And that there are kids out there that still go outside and play and don't need their cell phones and don't need their iPads. And there are parents out there that are still parenting and still want to be around their kids. And again, I'm not saying if you are not around your kids all the time because you're working and all of that. Oh my God, I get that. I get that 100%. I'm just saying there's times that I think that we choose to let the TV parent our kids when we do have time. And let's just face it, whether we have the energy or not, there are kids, you gotta sometimes do it. Otherwise, don't have kids, And speaking of that, please stop having shitty kids. Nobody else wants to deal with your shit children, okay? If you're going to have bratty kids, please stop unleashing them at public school and all over everywhere and in restaurants when people are trying to go about their lives and they didn't have kids or they have perfectly lovely kids or whatever. We don't want to deal with your crappy kids. I get it. Kids can act like assholes sometimes because, again, humans act like assholes. Humans have problems. I have problems. I act like an asshole. Everything I say is like, I've been there, done that. I get it. I'm not perfect either. But, people sit here and I hate it when parents are like, oh, pokey dooka 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 booka boo. Okay, talk to your kids. I'm not saying you got to scream at them. I'm not saying you have to smack them. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying you also don't need to constantly make sure that they're doing okay and they're feeling okay and checking in with them. My God, every time you're like, are you okay? Now they're going to start going, well, God, am I not supposed to be okay? You're making them constantly think about their feelings. Leave them the fuck alone. They don't need to constantly be up in their heads, being in their feelings all the time. Let them play. For the love of God, let your children play and get dirty. They don't need to constantly think about if they're a man or a woman or about sex, you big pervs. Why are there so many groups of people out there that really want to talk to their kids about sex all the time and what they identify as? Like, that makes you disgusting. Why do you always want to talk to not only your children, but other people's children about your child's sexual orientation? They're not even having sex. They're talking about bugs and picking their nose and eating their boogers. Why are you talking to them about this? I'm all for telling them that they have a penis or a vagina. Great. Do it. But why are you having conversations with a child that are so adult, that are so inappropriate? Why? That makes you disgusting. And why are you denying if you're fat? And why are you sitting here getting mad at people all the time? I mean, why can't I put a check mark over in a box that says white? Why can't I be proud of being white? All of these things drive me crazy. And when I'm on social media, that's all I ever hear is how I need to be ashamed if I'm skinny. And I need to be ashamed if I have money. And I need to be ashamed if I'm white. And I'm like, I'm not ashamed at all. Fuck you. No one's going to make me do anything, let alone feel ashamed. I'll feel ashamed if I've done something to be, that was shameful. But my race is not something I've done. It's not something I can help. My gender is not something I can help. And I'm not a rich person, but if I were, by the way, all you people that are for that whole, just keep taxing thing, then I hope to God you win the lottery and then you get the crap taxed out of you, which you will, especially if you choose to take it all at once in a lump sum. And then you better give every fucking bit of that away. Because if you don't, you're a lying motherfucker. You're a hypocritical liar. Stop being miserable all the time. If you have a terrible life, I'm sorry. You have a right to be miserable if you've had a lot of things going on. But most of the people bitching right now don't have a terrible life. And if they do, it's something they created. They created that terrible life. I feel sorry for people that have true, genuine, shitty things that have happened to them. I just watched a documentary on a woman that lost both of her children in 9/11, her baby kids, her young children in 9/11. Both of them gone. That's something to be sad about. Someone misgendering you, you need to be kicked in your shin, honestly. You need some pickle juice in your eye. Get over yourself. I'm just tired. I'm not going to feel ashamed. And don't call me a cis woman. I'm a woman. How is it that I have to be respectful to you and I have to worry about your feelings and you, and you want everybody to pay for you and you deserve this and I want more and I'm not happy? Why is everything about you? And then when you get these things, you're still not happy. And then you're mad if I'm happy and you're mad if I'm proud of myself. You're mad if I make money. You're mad when other people have things you don't want, and then you tell them that they're shitty if they're happy about it. So we're all just supposed to be miserable fucks roaming the earth, according to you? What a weird thing. And if you're a parent, shame on you. Now you're teaching your children to be this way, and then other people have to deal with your moody, depressed, all confused, vegan eating, allergic to everything child that can't cope with life. And then we have you part 2. No one wants a sequel. Sequels are rarely good. You know what I'm saying? Don't make a carbon copy of you. Don't make another one of you. If you're a shitty person, stop procreating. Okay? And then we're against people catching fraud. Why? Because that fraud is what goes into your pocket, because that fraud is what gives you all of your free shit and you don't want your gravy train to end, or because you're in on it, because that would be the only 2 reasons that you would want the fraud to end. You're benefiting from it in some way, or you would want fraud to end. And you wouldn't think that Nick Shirley is bad. So I can't watch social media for a while. It just irks me. It really fucking pisses me off. I'm tired of everybody being like, I'm hurt, my religion, my gender, my pronouns, me, I, me, and then turn around and not only don't give a shit about other people's religion and other people's genders and other people's feelings, but they crap on them and try to take them away and try to unalive them and beat them up and threaten them. What is wrong with you? And then there's people that go, yeah, and they like it and they condone it. I don't give a shit if you like Charlie Kirk or Trump. Why are you promoting the unaliving of somebody because you don't like them? Okay, well then back at you. So if I don't like you, do I get to go unalive you? Can I just knock on your door and shoot you in your fucking face then? Is that what we're going to all start doing now? Every single thing we don't like, we're just going to unalive everything we disagree with now? That is what your plan is? Because that's what's going on. That is what is going on, and that is what's being promoted by the left. And I don't understand it. I'm not into that. I'm not down with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not okay with that. I actually like diversity. That's why I pick on everybody. I pick on every country, every size, every shape. And again, if you are obese, I want to stress that I'm not saying you're ugly. I'm not saying you're useless or not beautiful or any of that. I'm just saying you're overweight. And I don't know why we're disagreeing with that. I don't know why I'm not allowed to say that. I'm blonde because I'm blonde. I have blue eyes because I have blue eyes. I have horrible teeth. These are just facts. These are things about me. And I'm not saying it makes you a bad person. I'm not saying I don't like you. I'm not saying you're worthless. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it's unhealthy and your doctor's allowed to say it. And if your doctor can't say these things, then why are you going to the fucking doctor in the first place then? Then don't go to the doctor, because now you're just egging people on. Like that dude that goes around to the restaurants just daring people to say he's a him. And then when they say her, he's like, my pronouns are she, they, it, whatever the fuck they are. And he does that to purposely try to piss people off. And I can't stand people like that. Those little chihuahuas that go around just really intending to piss off other people. And then when the other people have given warning after warning after warning to stop, and they don't stop. They just keep going because they want it. They want you to get mad so they can go, see. No, you fucking did this. This is not a see thing. People only have so much tolerance. And sometimes the best way after you have talked and communicated and tried every unviolent way in the world, sometimes people just need to be fucking punched in their throat. Okay? I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm not condoning that. I'm saying that I personally, if I have warned you 7,000 times and I've tried to talk to you and you're still in my business and you're still bothering me and you're still harassing me, I'm going to probably punch you. I'm just going to throw that out there. And you would deserve it. And you're not at all the victim. You're not the victim. And if you cry, I will just sit there and stare at you and go, good, it was supposed to fucking hurt. Good. I hope it did. Now think about that next time you mouth off to people. Think about that next time you go off and you run your mouth and someone goes, hey, dude, please stop. Hey, please quit. Hey, I'm telling you to please stop. Hey, there's only so many times someone can tell you to stop before you're going to get fucking punched. And then you don't get to go, I mean, you can, but you are what's wrong with the world. And you're the reason why I'm saying stop procreating shitty people. I'm tired of shitty people. You know, like Elon and Bill Gates seem to think that the world is having a population crisis. Really? Because there's billions with a B. of crappy human beings on the planet. Well, there's not billions with a B, crappy human beings. There's billions of people on the planet, billions with a B. And some of them are crappy. Like I said, I do believe most people are good. I do. I really do. But we need to save our land. We really do. We have hardly any land whatsoever. We have barely any land. And the land that we have, we're not producing good soil anymore. It takes like 6 apples now to eat to get the nutrition of what we used to get from one. Come on, girls, come. Now it's been tilled up and tilled up and tilled up so much that you can't get nutrients until you get way, way, way down in there because we've just tilled up the nutrients to death. We don't have room for more people. And frankly, I don't want to deal with more fucking people being crappy. Unless we're going to start treating people okay and we're going to start actually being good to people, then, man. Anyway, I know. See, she agrees. I agree. Right? I have backup there. Yeah. See, she's telling you. Agreed. Anyway, these are the things I was talking about on my last podcast, but I got a lot saucier and I was being kind of an asshole. And I'm like, man, I'm being one of those people that I'm saying I don't want to procreate. And sometimes I'm a bitch. Sometimes I get out of line. And I'm not talking about people that sometimes can be a bitch and sometimes have a bad day. Because again, it's called being human. It's called emotions. That's why we have them, right? But you know who's not a dick? You guys. You guys are pretty rad. I mean, some of you might be an asshole, which, hey, all right, more power to you. You do you, Scotty P. But I appreciate you guys more than I can even tell you. I'm trying to think of really cool, fun, non-boring ways, to say that I appreciate you, but I don't know how to say it. I appreciate what? Appreciate you. What? Who? You. What? No, I don't know. I can't do it. That did not go over well. I was trying to say, I appreciate who? What? You. That doesn't really work either. See, this is why I don't bother. I'm too white for this crap, Although I can dance. I want it noted. I can dance. And I don't mean, with my, the white man's overbite thing. I'm talking, I can dance, okay? I've got rhythm. I'm sporty. I can't jump, though. I cannot jump. There's too much junk in this trunk. But even when there wasn't, I still couldn't. I can't jump. Anyway, all right. So if you're not offended and you still listen to my podcast, you're a fucking superstar. You rock. You're going to be something in life. If you can listen to my podcast and not need to, not need a safe room or a cry room, and I can say the things I say and you come out unscathed, you're awesome. You're amazing. You're amazeballs. I appreciate you. And I hope that someone tells you today that you're awesome. I hope someone besides me, I'm telling you, you're awesome. But I hope everyone is just like, hey, you're awesome. I hope you're just filled with people giving you compliments today because you deserve them. Anyway, I really do thank you. And I hope that you listen to me again. Again, I'm on YouTube and Instagram and Clapper and Facebook. But I think you can listen to me on Spotify, Buzzsprout, all different platforms, iHeartRadio, Pandora. So however you found me, pass the word because I'm no longer on Twitter since he cut me off. I still love Elon, though. I still do, and it wasn't him personally. So pass the word because now I can't really get out there. I don't have a lot of advertising that I can do. So I need you guys. I need to enlist you to tell everybody, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell everybody. I appreciate it. Till next time.